Okay, so I've looked at going straight to high mount. It's very unlikely that they're going to let me go straight to high mount. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a variation, a low mount. So here we go. So right, I'm in my side control, kind of my catchy side control. I'm lifting my chest here. I want to go to mount. So I'm going to take my knee, even if his knee is against my hip and stuff, if he's defending mount well. Right, it's still not difficult to actually retake mount as long as he's not turning his hips. I can slide my knee in across his belly. My knee goes to the ground. When my knee goes to the ground, I'm going to put all my weight on my head and take all my weight onto his body like we did in the last mount. And I flick this leg to one side and I scoop those legs underneath. And I really like to cross my toes at this point and drive my hips in. I'm going to establish what I call a flying mount. Drive my hip in if I'm wearing a box. This is absolutely awful. But if he reaches for my hands and stuff, there's not really a lot he can do. I can just sit here and fly and make his life comfy. If he tries to stuff my hips down, really no stuffing of my hips. What he should be doing is stepping on my heels and trying to get these separated in one leg to the floor. So as soon as he starts doing that kind of stuff, I'm going to start working Ezekiel choke. So I'm going to put all my weight over to this side and I go deep behind the back of his neck, and I then bring in an Ezekiel choke. So I'm going to grab my own wrist and I put my fist against his neck and I use this shoulder and this fist to close his choke. It won't choke him, but what it'll do is it'll make him lift his hands. As he lifts his hands, I can now climb up his body, putting my hands on top of his head, force myself up his body to get to my high mount. At high mount, I'm going to show you some little tricky things that I use a lot in my catch wrestling technique. Okay, so this is just the Ezekiel choke from another angle. I've got my flying mount in, I'm driving my hips in. I'm going to drive everything across his body. It's really important that I get all my body weight over here, otherwise he's going to sweep me in that direction. I'm putting my bicep against his neck, my shoulder against his neck, and then grab my own wrist and I put my fist in against his neck. Okay, what I do in fact is I use my fist to make that triangle. So as I apply it, I twist my fist in. Okay, seems to work really, really well for me. Sometimes I even get attacked with this, but as I apply this, he will lift and defend that. He wants to get rid of me, he wants to get those arms off. He has to lift his elbows. So I put my hands on top of his head and I drag myself up his body to try to get to some kind of high mount.